Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay my bill? I, F31, gave birth to my beautiful son a week ago. Unfortunately there were some complications, so I was only released yesterday, but I am so grateful to be home with our baby boy. When my waters initially broke, my husband, M33, and I were at home and I happened to be standing on my bedroom carpet. Cleaning was obviously not the priority, so I threw some towels down and we left for the hospital. During the time we were in hospital, my mill, F59, kindly offered to feed our dogs for us, and we were very appreciative of her help. It was only once we get home yesterday that I saw my mill had left a receipt and note stuck to the fridge, saying that she had cleaned my bedroom carpet and wanted to be reimbursed. She had also taken it upon herself to clean the rest of the house while she was at it, and all in all, would like a day's pay at $25/hour plus $200 worth of products. Now, while it was nice of her to clean my carpet and then the rest of my house, neither of us asked her to do this. My husband wrote her the following text. "Hello Mom, we really appreciate your help over the last few days while my name was in the hospital. It was great having someone over to look after the dogs. We noticed your note and receipt on the fridge, and are a little upset you took it upon yourself to 1. Snoop through the house, as neither of us had told you about my name's waters breaking in the bedroom, 2. Go out and buy hundreds of dollars worth of cleaning products, and then 3. Charging us for your time and the aforementioned products. We would also like to ask where these cleaning products are, as if we are paying for them, we would certainly like to get our money's worth. When we entrusted you with the dogs, we really thought you were helping us out of the good of your heart and not giving you an opportunity to make a quick buck. We are family, and are hurt you would do something like this while my name was so unwell." My mill immediately responded to my husband saying that she did what she did out of the kindness of her heart, and she cannot believe we would be so ungrateful. I have also received some texts from extended family members saying that Mill didn't have to help me, but did do despite her advanced age out of love. I have had to turn off my phone so that I don't have to deal with all the texts, but my husband is still getting a lot of hate from his family because we are manipulating the situation and making Mill the bad guy when she was only trying to get the house ready for the baby. I am quite upset by the whole thing, but my husband is now saying that maybe we should pay to get the extended family off our back and just enjoy this time as new parents rather than dealing with all this. I am not okay with paying him Mom for anything. Am I the a-hole for cutting in line when getting off a plane? I had a flight yesterday that got delayed, so I had a really tight window to make my connecting flight, like less than 10 minutes. I knew I was gonna basically just have to sprint off the plane and directly to my next gate. Unfortunately, my seat was in the very back of the small plane. As soon as the seatbelt light turned off, I jumped out of my seat with my bag and moved toward the front of the plane as fast as I could. I didn't shove anyone out of the way, but I did ask to squeeze by a few people, apologizing and explaining that I had a very tight connection. Everyone was willing to let me get through. Once I got to the door, some guy behind me started yelling that I should just wait my turn since there's lots of people with tight connections. I explained that I didn't really have time to compare everyone's schedules, but he maintained that I was being an asshole and should have just waited my turn. Is this some unwritten rule of plane etiquette I didn't know about? I would understand if I was shoving people aside or cutting people who were waiting, but I don't see what's wrong with moving forward in an empty aisle. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to buy a house with my wife? My wife and I have been married for about 2 years and have been renting the entire time we've been together. We've talked about buying a house together in the future, but the problem is that she can't save money. We live in a 2BR apartment because she needs one to be her walk-in closet. She has the newest iPhone, Apple Watch, AirPods, and AirPods Max. She just bought herself a Tesla while I'm driving a 2015 Honda. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. In fact, I'm perfectly okay with her spending her own money because we're both young and she deserves to enjoy her life. Recently her aunt announced that she'll be moving into a retirement community and will be selling her house. Since they are close, she offered to sell it to us before listing it. She wants $75,000 down and is willing to finance the purchase for us. Honestly, it's a good deal, but the problem is my wife has less than $500 saved, so I'll have to pay the entire $75,000. The monthly payments for the house will be more than our rent, so I'll have to cover the difference as my wife can't pay more. Then there's the yearly $6,500 in property tax which I will have to pay for myself. Lastly, the house needs a new roof which will cost $18,000. She and her aunt were talking like it's a done deal, but all I see is a bunch of money I have to pay out all on my own. I told her Friday that we should pass on this one. She kept on saying what a great deal it is and that we've always planned on getting a house to start a family. After hours of discussions, I got tired and told her we will get a house when she gets past her spending phase and starts saving phase. I pointed out all the costs I listed above and she was really hurt. She cried and said that we're supposed to be a team, then went to bed. She hasn't spoken to me since Friday night and we're supposed to go to her parents for dinner tonight. Her aunt will be there and I know the house thing will come up. Am I wrong for not wanting to buy the house by myself? Am I the a-hole for giving my daughter a name my grandma hates? I, 27F, gave birth to me and my husband's, 31M, first child almost 2 months ago. She's a perfect little girl and I was so excited to have my family meet her. I have 3 older sisters who all have kids as well. A fun tradition that my family does is to have a small get-together once the baby is about 2 to 3 months old. We don't announce the baby's name until after the birth to make it a surprise. At the little party we give the parents a bunch of little gifts that have the new baby's name on them. My grandmother always quilts a beautiful baby blanket and embroiders the baby's name. The issue is the name my husband and I chose for our daughter. For context, my grandma has a unique history with her own name. She was born as Lucille, but from the time she was 8 she told every single person she met that her name was Barbara. She did this for years until even her family called her Barbara. She even got her name legally changed. When I was a child I always asked her why she changed it. She simply said she liked Barbara better. It became a family joke, but she never seemed upset about it and always laughed with us. My husband's grandmother raised him from when he was a baby to when she passed away when he was 19. Her favorite celebrity was Lucille Ball. She and my husband used to watch I Love Lucy all the time together. He misses her very much and said that he would love to honor her in some way. Her name was Mary, but we chose to have that as our daughter's middle name. We decided that Lucy is a name we both loved and would honor his grandmother and maybe make mine chuckle a bit. After I gave birth, me and my husband were FaceTiming my entire family when we announced the name. A few of my relatives laughed and said it was cute, but my grandma was dead silent. When I asked her what was wrong, she demanded to know why I chose Lucy. I was shocked and confused. I began to try and explain, but she suddenly hung up. This greatly dampened the mood. My grandma wouldn't answer any calls from me afterwards. I asked my oldest sister and she said that my grandma was apparently offended and thought we were mocking her. She said she's not coming to the party in a few weeks to meet my daughter in person and that she's not giving the baby quilt to us unless we apologize and change our daughter's name. I don't know why it's escalated so much. My grandma has always been kind. I have no idea what to do. Births in my family are always celebrated and happy events, but this has ruined it. I almost feel like some of my relatives are ignoring me because they don't want to pick sides, but I don't even understand why there's a fight. Dealing with this along with my newborn has been incredibly stressful. My family is puzzled as well, but most of them are saying I shouldn't have chosen a name I knew my grandmother disliked, or at least asked her about it first. Am I the a-hole for not giving a family engagement ring to my stepsister who got engaged before me? When my dad proposed to my mom, my paternal grandparents, aka dad's parents, gave him a ring from their family to propose to mom with. My grandparents adored my mom and saw her as a daughter. They had 4 boys, and wanted to welcome her to the family with the ring. She treasured it, and before she died she and they had discussed my grandparents keeping it safe for me. After my mom died, my dad remarried. His second wife was upset that she wasn't offered the ring like my mom was. My grandparents explained it was being kept safe for me, as the last owner had wanted her only child, aka me, to have it. My dad's wife came into the marriage with a daughter just like dad had me. I was 9 and she was 7. We're now 22, me, and 20, her. My stepsister got engaged a few weeks ago. Her boyfriend proposed without a ring because he wanted her to pick one out. She decided to ask dad if she could have the family engagement ring. He asked my grandparents and they said no. His wife told my grandparents it might not be me, but the ring would still be going to their granddaughter. They said not the granddaughter it was intended for, and my stepsister was not my mom's daughter, therefore she would not be entitled to it, and my mom would have hated to see it go to my stepsister. When speaking to my grandparents failed, my dad and his wife came to me. My stepsister was upset that they didn't overrule what my mom wanted. She has some abandonment issues. Her dad abandoned her, neither side of her biological family want her, and my grandparents and uncles are the only extended family she ever had, but she always felt like they favored me because of how much they loved my mom and how often they spoke about her and about us, me and mom. Them turning her down really got her down. So my dad and his wife wanted me to make it up to her and wanted me to take the ring and then give it to her. My dad said it would mean so much to my stepsister, and while it would mean I don't get that ring, I could still get another ring and it would make a family member happy. His wife said they had both lived in my mom's shadow from day one, and this could be a time where they are not treated as secondary to my mom. She said her daughter always adored me and never saw me as a stepsister, and it hurt her that I never saw her as a sister. She said I could do this and make her feel loved like she deserves. I refused to give my stepsister the ring, and my dad and his wife told me I was being selfish and hurtful.